Hi, you guys. This is Misty with Cancerian Chronicles. Welcome or welcome back. I am trying to stream from to two different locations, so we're going to see how this works. But we are jumping into a reading for our water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and the topic is for the month of November or the next 30 days of you watching this video. What is it that you're not seeing? Okay, so this is about potential blind spots as it relates to just general, and we're also going to do love and money. We are starting out with the blind spot oracle deck by Teal Swan. So, and I have a couple of other decks that we're going to incorporate. This is for your Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising, North Node. Really, wherever you have a water sign, the messages may resonate, and just only take the messages that are for you. So we are going to go ahead and dive in. Make sure that you hit all the buttons, like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that good juicy stuff, okay? So we are going to start off with my beautiful Cancerians to see what is it that you are not seeing for the month of November or just the next 30 days. I wasn't really ready. Do I take that? Do I take that? Okay, so this one was eager to come out for my beautiful Cancerians, but we have the card number 65 as your blind spot, and this is for general. Let's see. Okay. I was going to see, how do I want to do that? Hold on, you guys. I don't quite know. Okay, I'm just going to leave that as it is. Okay, so we have number 65 for the sign of Cancer, and this is for general. And this is enabling. So what you need to watch out for in general is enabling for the next 30 days. So enabling, it says you think that you're helping someone or doing what is right in the situation at hand, when in fact you are merely acting as an enabler. Enablers prevent other people's expansion, and they also prevent their own. So I'm getting the sense, Cancer, that you may have someone in particular, or this could be a group of people, just like your normal, I'm hearing ride or die. So this could be just like your general group of friends that you normally deal with, or family members. They come to you, I feel like, for everything is what I'm getting. And you might be tempted to overexert and overextend yourself by stopping what you're doing to assist them. That could be what you typically do. And so obviously the guidance is for you to just kind of be on the lookout for that. It feels like whoever this is for, like, you just have a really kind heart. You don't like to disappoint people. You don't like letting people down. And I really do feel like, you're just trying to help. But what it talks about here is that, remember, enablers, even though you feel like, you are providing someone with a temporary relief or solution, in the long run, it's not going to be very helpful for them because they're not learning to stretch and grow themselves. And so it's almost the sense of like, if you start this now, you're going to always be the person that they have to come to so that you can get things done for them. And I feel like this is important because I'm hearing lock in. So maybe you have made it your mission or your goal to lock in for the next 30 days, for the next 60 days, for the next 90 days, to lock in on some type of goal that you have. And you can't rightly accomplish your goals in general if you're stopping. I keep hearing stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to, that Humpty digital underground, right? So if you're always stopping what you're doing to assist other people, you're not going to be able to truly lock in, and you're not going to be able to truly reach your goals. Hold on. I'm going to make sure. Anything else about that? We're going to go ahead and pull a couple of tarot cards when it comes to this one. Okay, what is this enabler energy that Cancer needs to be on the lookout for? And you know what? I really feel like the person or the people that do come to you, they do know that you're going to, like, this is their expectation, is that you stop what you're doing and you assist them. So you might receive some type of pushback, because if this person or these people are not used to you doing their bidding, right? You being at their beck and call, they're not going to really know how to handle that or how to deal with that. Okay. And that's okay. That's, you know, I mean, I'm hearing personal problem, like that's their, maybe that's part of their lesson, right? But that's really not your problem. That's their problem. That could be a lesson that they're meant to learn. It reminds me, like, when you're in education as a teacher, you have some teachers that they are constantly giving students answers, right? And it's not because, it's really not because they are wanting to cheat. It's not because they are too nice. I mean, it's not even necessarily about them just being overly nice. Like, they are enablers, right? They don't like to see people struggle. And that struggle, sometimes that struggle is where people are learning. And it's like someone doesn't really have the patience to allow another person to grow and develop. So you just want to be mindful, be careful that, you know, that's not you, that's not something that you're doing. Okay. But the card that came out is this Ten of Swords. Painful ending here. I feel like someone is going to exaggerate, right? Like, in general, like if you tell someone, you know what, I'm not going to be able to assist you with that, or, you know, I'm busy, or I already have plans. Like, this person may act like it's the end of their world, or they may actually threaten to end a relationship. And I'm hearing something about calling their bluff. You may have to call their bluff, right? And I don't know if this is just like, you know, a friend, a family member, someone at work. I don't know, but you're going to have to call their bluff. And if the relationship does end, then, like, really, they weren't your friend. They weren't, you know, really on your team to begin with. Because if what I'm hearing is correct, that you're trying to lock in on a goal, and they don't care about you locking in on your goal, because all they care about is, you know, them accomplishing their goals, right, at the expense of yours. They really don't need to be in your life anyway, is what I'm getting. Yeah, we have at the bottom Seven of Pentacles. This is long-term investment. So remember, I said there was something to do with, like, someone wanting to lock in on a goal. Like, this is time for, I feel like you've planted some seeds, and it's just all about you continuing, like, to water and to nourish and develop your plan, or, you know, watch it grow. But you can't allow people to come in and, you know, thwart your plans, basically because, you know, they don't want to do their own, you know, growing and developing and learning. Yeah, at the top, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and this is about destiny. I feel like something that you're wanting to do, or something that you're wanting to work on. I don't know, maybe you feel like this is a calling or something, but I'm also hearing it was bound to happen. So potentially if this person does threaten, like, well, you don't really, love me, or you don't care about me, or you don't care about this job, or if you don't do A, B, C, and X, Y, Z, it's over. That might be how it was just meant to be. I don't know. Of course, you have to use your own discernment when it comes to that. Okay. What else? Let's just do, yeah, we have the Three of Wands. This is about expansion. You guys, you're trying to grow in some type of area, but also this person that is trying to get you to do their light work, they're trying to get you to take over the wheel or take over the reins of something that they're actually supposed to be doing. It's supposed to help them grow and expand, and they cannot do that if you are enabling them, and you cannot reach your goals if you are enabling other people. We have the Temperance card at the bottom, which is about balance. So it's not to say that you completely snub your nose at this person and you don't help them in any way, form, or fashion. What it means is that you're not going to stop everything that you do every time this person hits a snag, or a snafu is what I'm hearing, or something like that. So it's like, you have to continue, like you're going to have to balance out what you are actually able to do that is not going to be at the expense of what you have going on yourself. We have the Ten of Pentacles, which is about inheritance. For some of you guys, you're trying to build something, like for generations to come. You might be trying to work on something that's going to be quite beneficial, not just to you right now, but also, if you plan on having children, or your children's children, or if you have like a favorite niece or nephew or something like that, like this is something that you are, wanting to grow, that's going to help generations. Okay. This is about leaving a legacy. That's too much. Yeah, we have vision, the Two of Wands here. So I feel like, I'm hearing F your feelings, sorry, but not sorry, right? So you might be inclined to want to give in to, not temptation, but give in to your feelings, to your emotions, or to this person's emotions. And or maybe that they know that like they can easily get you to drop what you're doing if they play on your emotions. But you need to really stick to, like, you have a vision, you have a long-term vision that you definitely need to stick to. Or when it comes to that vision that you're, of what it is that you're trying to grow, it could result in a painful ending if you continue to stop what you're doing to help someone else, right? So at the bottom, we have the Princess of Pentacles, which is about learning. And I feel like this is something that, like, you're having to learn how to say no. And whoever you're dealing with, they are having to learn how to push through or push forward even when things get tough for them. At the top, yeah, we have Nine of Pentacles, which is about luxury. So this might cause like some temporary pain or discomfort, but in the long run, right, with that vision, with that, Two of Wands, we're talking vision, and with this Three of Wands, this expansion, in the long run, this is something that is well worth it. Okay, so you're just going to have to stick to your guns on that. I just looked at the bottom again, and we have the King of Wands, which is about authority. I feel like, maybe people just see you as the authority on, a lot of different things, and that's great, that's cool, but they can't, it kind of reminds me of like people asking questions that they could quickly Google, right? And it's like, rather than, taking their time to actually do research and do study, right? They're using you as like the personal dictionary. They're using you as their chat GPT. And that's a waste of your time. And it really is a waste of their growth and development. Okay. So let's see, what else do we have in general? We're just going to do one of these because we haven't even, we're still on general. But yeah, we have 911. It says out with the old and in with the new. You guys, like how you normally enable this person or these people or these situations in general, the guidance is for you to just do something different because you're trying to bring in something new and something different into your life. Okay. So that's what we have for just in general for the sign of Cancer. And we are going to go ahead and do another one for the sign of Cancer, but this time we're going to focus on love. So for those of you that are, interested in love or you believe in love or whatever, we're going to look at what it is that you could potentially not be seeing in the month of November or, just in the next 30 days, within the next 30 days of you seeing this video. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to put it back, that one back, because I think it's important, especially if a card comes out twice, then that just means, you definitely need to pay attention to, that particular blind spot. Okay, so Cancer, when it comes to love, okay. When it comes to love, we have the card number 76. And let's see. So this is the blind spot or what you don't see when it comes to love, which is deflection. Okay, this is deflection. I'm going to ask the question, who is going to be, I'm hearing tactic. It feels like someone is going to use this tactic of deflection. So I feel like you need to be on the lookout for the person that you are dealing with. When it comes to love, whether this is romantic love or platonic love, using deflection some way or somehow. And, this reminds me of like when we talked about in general, right? It's, we talked about, you have to be mindful of, not enabling people. This could be a person that's going to, when you tell them no, they're going to try to deflect. They're going to try to use that tactic to get you to do what it is essentially that they want you to do. But for deflection, it says this is about using deflection as a tool to avoid self-awareness in a situation where you really do need to recognize something within yourself. To deflect something is to cause that thing to change direction by interposing something. This turns it off its straight course and into another direction, even back in the original direction it came from. Deflection is when someone communicates to another causes that person to feel triggered. As a result, instead of taking in the perceived criticism, they either ignore, deny, or turn away from it. Or worse, they turn it back towards the person who communicated it in the first place. This is done to avoid painful memories, emotions, and thoughts, but it also prevents the person deflecting the comment from being self-aware. Now, what did I say in the general, right? When we talked about enabling, that you're going to have to tell someone no, or it could be like a group of people that you love, family, friends, a lover, whatever, like you're going to have to work on, there are some things that you need to take care of. I'm hearing taking care of business. And also, even if you didn't have something to take care of, I feel like you might be to the point to where you notice that someone is always trying to take the easy way out by coming to you to get you to do something, right? This is where someone, feigns helplessness, right? Like they can't make dinner because they don't know how, or because you do it better, right? And it's like, let's just say this is your child. I'm just going to use that as an example. But like your child is older, right? You have an older child. This is a teenager. It's time for them to start learning how to cook, because it's almost time for them to, maybe they're about to go off to college, or they're about to move out or something like that. And you're telling them, well, you're going to have to learn how to do this on your own, because I'm not going to always be there. And they try to deflect from the fact that they do need to learn how to do it, because they feel like maybe they're triggered by the thought of like you not being there, or they're triggered by the thought of maybe they cooked something once and they did a terrible job, so they're worried that they're going to mess this up, and they're scared to cook or something like that. And rather than addressing that issue, they turn it on you and say, well, it's because you cook so good, or you do it better, or like you just want me out of here and you just don't want to do anything for me. This is like, be mindful of, within the next 30 days or for this month of November, someone trying to deflect when you call them out on, their BS, or when you call them out on, I feel like their laziness. I'm also getting the sense of like someone, also just being, I'm hearing carelessness. So for someone, they could just be really careless when it comes to something, and you're going to call them out on it, and they don't want to hear it. Okay. They don't want to hear it. So just be mindful of that. But, oh, wait, let's pull some tarot on that to see what else we get from this deflection. Like this is like someone wants you to do something because they feel like you're smarter, you're better at it, or, really they just don't want to do it. What is this? Yeah, we have the Empress. So for some of you guys, this is definitely like, you take on like a more nurturing type role for this person, whether this is your child, whether this is your lover, whether this is, I don't know, spouse, friend, whatever, but it's like you mother this person. And whether you're a man or a woman, like you mother this person, you do everything for this person, right? And they've become accustomed to always receiving things like, or having things handed to them, right? And them being able to just like relax or rest. And I don't know, it's almost like they see how hard you work, but they don't want to they don't want to have to work hard or something like that. But at the bottom we have this Princess of Swords, which is about observation, and then at the top was the Devil card, which is about materialism. For some of you guys, this is a person that they always come to you for your ideas, for your suggestions. They're always picking your brain for something. Oh, wow. That was a candle. They're picking your brain. They love your ideas because you have so many of them, because you're full of really good ideas, or they benefit, they prosper somehow from, the ideas, recommendations, suggestions that you give them. But this is based off of your knowledge, based off of, your research or something to that effect. Someone could be like, not to say that they're using you for money specifically, but this person, there's something to do with like when they observe, like observing you. I don't know. This person benefits off of your labor, whether this is your physical labor, your emotional labor, your, your knowledge, Let's keep going and see what else we get from that. Like someone knows that, like, let's say at the beginning we talked about in general, you're working on something that you're trying to lock in on, you're trying to focus in on, you're trying to grow, develop, whatever. This person could have something as well, but they know without you taking over the reins, without you really being highly involved and highly invested in it, that it's not going to be as fruitful for them, right? Because they always rely on your advice and your labor, or whatever. Okay, so whether they try to deflect by buttering you up, or whether they try to deflect by playing on your heartstrings. The fact of the matter is that they feel like they're feeling some great loss by you not stepping in to help them with their goals. And, you know, like I said, in the general part of that, they don't care if it's at the expense of you not accomplishing yours. Okay. What else? Yeah, we have the High Priestess, which is, this is about subconscious knowledge. It's like you just know things, or you have a way of doing things. And so for some people, they could feel like because certain things just come easy for you because you have this knowing, or, you know, someone feels like because something is easier for you, it's only fair that you share what you know or what you've learned. At the bottom is the moon, says subconscious here. And we have the Knight of Cups, which is about pursuit. Okay, so if you are spiritual, or you like have some spiritual gifts or something, like someone feels that they should be able to use them to their advantage. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. And we have the Queen of Wands, which is confidence. I really feel like someone doesn't want to be accountable or take the reins when it comes to something in their life because they lack confidence, and they may have to do a little bit of research or some type of introspection. You know, here we have the Hermit at the bottom, and they don't want to do it, right? They feel like they should always be able to just run to you and get what they need, get the answers, get the work done. I mean, yeah, they look at you as a boss. We have the King of Pentacles as a leader. They look to you for your guidance and your leadership. But again, this person is not growing, and they're not developing on their own. And more importantly, if you have some other goals that you're meant to be focusing on, you can't do that if you're stopping everything to help someone else. And when it comes to love, this person could be, I'm here, I'm playing on your top, I'm sorry, but this person could be using your feelings against you, but, you know, to their advantage. And you just kind of have to be mindful of that. Not to say that they're really being malicious about it, but it doesn't, I mean, it really doesn't matter if they're being malicious or not. You know, like some people want to talk about, well, what was their intention? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, someone is trying to get you to stop what you're doing to focus on them. It's me, me, me. Someone has this attitude of like me, me, me. Oh yeah, at the bottom of that is Six of Swords, relief after struggle. I'm telling you, someone doesn't want to struggle. Like they feel like that's what they have you for. So they don't have to struggle at all. Yep. I'm trying to see if there's anything else to do with that before we move on to money. Let's pull one of these real quick. Yeah, we have 888. It says a cycle is ending with this phase in your career or relationship, so prepare accordingly. Remember, if you were here for the general part of that reading for Cancer, I talked about someone may threaten to end a relationship if you don't stop everything that you're doing and focus on them. I'm hearing let it burn. Some of you guys are going to have to let it burn. Okay. Earlier I said call them on their bluff, right? If they're really meant to be in your life and they're really for you, then, you know, they might sulk a little bit, but they're going to come back and they are going to respect the boundaries that you have set. And if not, if they're not going to respect your boundaries, like you don't really need them in your life anyway. So you may want them. I mean, I don't know how bad you want people in your life, but I mean, I don't know. Everyone's different. It's never been that important or that serious for me. So, but we're all different. Okay. So let's see. What else do we need to know? No, let's go ahead and move on to, geez, I'm making a mess. I can't walk and chew bubble gum, obviously, but money. Let's look at what is the potential blind spot when it comes to money for the month of November for the sign of Cancer, or just the next 30 days if you are watching this video. And we have card number 46. So let's see what that's about. Okay, 46 is a faulty compass. I'm going to write that down. Okay, so faulty compass, it says you're allowing emotional influence to guide you, but the emotion you're being guided by is not an accurate reflection of your personal truth or the truth of the situation at hand. Essentially, you're allowing your emotion to cloud your awareness. This is still making me go back to that original message, the general message that we had. And even the one where we talked about love, like someone using emotions, using your feelings or using your emotions to get you to stop working or focusing on something that's really important that you're trying to lock in on. And whatever this is, obviously you're trying to make money, or it has the potential to bring in like a lot of money for you. Says when we're in a positive mental and emotional state, we tend to perceive situations to be high benefit and low risk. On the other hand, if we are in a negative emotional state, we will see a situation to be low in benefits and high in risk. Emotions function like a compass pointing you through life. If your compass was not messed with, you would not fall out of touch with your own due north. You would not see your emotions as wrong, and therefore you would see every emotion as valid and happening for an important reason. You would listen carefully to the personal truth being conveyed in every emotion, and you would follow what feels good with awareness in the same way you would follow a compass. If you felt bad, you would understand that your thoughts, words, and actions were taking you in the wrong direction. But our compasses are messed with, distorted by thoughts passed down to us, information we're fed, beliefs we are conditioned to adopt, ways that information is presented to us, experiences we have had, and meaning that we assign to experiences. I feel like someone is essentially, you have to be mindful in the next 30 days, just kind of be careful that someone is not playing with your compass by way of or through your emotions. Okay. Make sure you're not doing this to yourself as well. Yeah. Make sure that you're not sabotaging your own, yourself. Yeah. We have the Hermit, which is about introspection. At the bottom is the Four of Swords, and it says mental break. Like, so either you're going to have yourself just kind of like in your head. Second, like there's something to do with like second guessing yourself or doubting yourself with something that you're working on. So it's either you're doing this to yourself or you're allowing someone to play with your emotions. Okay. At the top, we have Four of Wands, and this is about homecoming. I feel like this is more of like, this is you, right? So just kind of be mindful that this is not self-sabotage, okay? We have the Queen of Cups, and that flew in reverse. It says suppressed feelings. There could be, just be mindful, there could be some some emotions that you have been suppressing, and maybe for good reason. But these emotions that you've suppressed, or that you have been suppressing, or you continue to suppress, it's like you need to look deeper at whatever those feelings are, because they could be affecting your finances. Okay. So for some of you guys, like this could be, and I know it's a little bit cliche, but it could be like, feelings of worthiness, feeling like you don't deserve to, live in luxury, feeling like, I don't know, that you're being greedy if you have too much of something. Just kind of be mindful of, some of those feelings that could have been, these feel like learned. This feels like something that was learned, that you've learned. I'm also hearing something about learned helplessness. Jeez. Yeah, we have guilt with the Nine of Swords. We have Seven of Wands flipped in reverse, and this is giving up. And then we have Queen of Pentacles upright. It says security. Okay, so for some of you guys, it's like every time you win at something, every time you're winning at life, for some reason, whether you recognize this or not, when you start winning, when you start achieving like some sense of security or stability in your life, for some reason you start to feel a little bit guilty, and you give up on what you're doing or what you're working on. It's like before reaching a finish line, you quit. And then maybe you start something new. You indulge in a new hobby, a new career, a new you start studying something else. But it's like once you start to reach like some type of like victory, right? You quit. And it has something to do with some type of suppressed emotions or feelings about, I don't know, maybe someone made you feel like you didn't deserve something, or you weren't worth something, or, I don't know, something weird like that. Someone could have placed their insecurities, their inadequacies on you, right? And it's time for you to pull that off, because it's not yours. Okay. Someone is holding on to a burden that they were just not really meant to carry. So you have to be mindful of that. Okay, what else? Jeez. We have 911, out with the old and in with the new. That came out for the general reading, out with the old and in with the new. I'm telling you, there's something that you're being asked to remove, some old way of thinking, of feeling, some, doubts or actions that you normally take, especially as it relates to you almost being at a finish line, at you almost winning, at you making us like, it's like, let's say, every time you start making over, I don't know, $50,000 a year, like you shut down, and it's like you just pack everything up and like, no, I don't want to do this. And then you start doing something else, right? And then you're back down to at the low end of earning something, and then you get up again, and it's like, no, that's wrong. But what you're not seeing is that there's something within that is causing that, and you have to just kind of be mindful of that. So I'm starting to feel like some anxiety or some panic. When you start panicking or feeling some type of anxiety, and it's like when you're winning, okay, when you're about to win, it's almost like you are about to surpass some type of threshold, and you need to be mindful of that and know not to give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't quit, because that is affecting your wealth and your finances, or something that you're trying to create and you're trying to build. Okay. So that's what we have for the sign of Cancer. I hope that that was helpful. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, all of that good juicy stuff. And we are moving on to the sign of Pisces. Okay, so we're moving on to the sign of Pisces. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising, North Node. Really, if you have Pisces anywhere in your chart, the messages may in fact resonate. I should have played around with this thing. I just don't know how to fix this. I guess I'll do it another time. Well, let's keep going. Okay, moving on to the sign of Pisces, and we're, geez, I can't even come out. So this is for, in general, what it is that you should be mindful of for your blind spots for the next 30 days or for the month of November. We have card number 63 here. So let's see what this is. So this is just in general. 63. Pushing them away. This is about pushing someone away. Okay, so it says you're pushing someone or something away that you shouldn't. Are you pushing someone away so that you can avoid the pain of them pushing you away? Are you pushing away their help? Are you pushing away their love? Are you rejecting someone? Are you demonstrating your disapproval towards someone? Are you being dismissive, minimizing, or unloving in some way to them? Are you denying something? Have you disowned something or someone from being a part of yourself? Are you telling yourself that someone can't see, hear, feel, or understand you? Are you maintaining a self-concept of being different from and apart from others? Are you telling yourself a story about something that is causing you to push it away? It says if you've drawn this one, you may need intimacy, but you're terrified of it. Trying to see what we get from that. So in general, Pisces, just be mindful that you are not pushing people away, especially if they're trying to offer some type of assistance. We're not in the love section yet, but I feel like, you know, if you are wanting a relationship, or even if you're in a relationship, like, don't let your fears, don't let it stop you from having a successful relationship. This could have something to do with, you know, like some past, you know, we'll say trauma where, you know, maybe you were not in a family that was like very touchy-feely, lovey, huggy, you know, whatever. You could have been also raised to be very independent, right? You just had to do everything on your own. You couldn't rely on anyone for anything. And so it's kind of hard to tell when people genuinely just want to love and support you and help you, because it's never really been modeled for you, like what that looks like, or you know, maybe you were shut down when, you know, you were experiencing like the need of intimacy or the need of, you know, some type of assistance or help. So just kind of be mindful of that. Okay, but let's pull some tarot. Jeez. Yeah, we have a Seven of Swords. This is about theft. I don't know if, number one, you could feel like, well, okay, what do you want? You could just not trust people. And so there's this thought or this idea that like people are just wanting something out of you or wanting something from you. But at the bottom, we have the Eight of Cups, which is, this is about self-discovery, right? You know, typically, yeah, it's, you know, walking away, but this is about, she's not walking away. She's seated. There's something that she's learning about herself. So maybe that's the guidance, is for you to kind of look within, or, you know, maybe you're going to discover this about yourself. We have the Ace of Pentacles. At the top, it says prosperity seed. So it's like someone is trying to grow something with you. Someone could be starting to grow on you, and just, you know, be mindful that you are not, you know, pushing them away out of your fears. This could be anything, you guys, and this could be like, you know, at work, you have some coworkers that are, you know, maybe they're getting too close for comfort for you, like you're a loner, you don't usually deal with people, but, you know, like you are about to miss out on like a really good opportunity or a really good friend, right? You know, we talked about relationships, like just, yeah. What else? We have the Chariot, triumph over obstacles. I'm really just, I keep getting the sense of like someone that just wants to flee, right? Someone, you know, this is like runaway bride type energy, right? She looks like a runaway bride. But this is something that you can actually overcome. At the bottom is the Knight of Cups, which is about pursuit. I feel like, you know, maybe there's something that, I don't know if someone's going to try to pursue you, or if you're avoiding the pursuit of happiness. Like, yeah, you want to be happy, but then there's like a fear of like, you know, when things get too happy, like you're waiting for the what do they say, the shoe to drop or something like that. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles. It's like something new is definitely being offered to you. I don't know if it's, you know, love or a job, or, I mean, I don't know, something with money, work, finances, friendship. I don't know, but look at that. And like, it feels like you're going to receive some type of communication with this Eight of Wands, like some communication is quickly coming in about this. Pushing them away. I don't know if there's a sense of like something feels like it's too good to be true, and you're going to be tempted to walk away or push it away or reject a person or an opportunity, or someone extending an offering for to help you with something. Someone could see you working really hard on something, like struggling with something, and they really just want to extend an olive branch, or like they want to assist somehow. Yeah, look at that. At the bottom is strength. It says compassion. Like this is, whatever this is, it is definitely genuine. But here's that Eight of Cups again, self-discovery. It's almost like a too good to be true, but you know, maybe it feels too good to be true because you're just not used to relying on other people, accepting from other people, help from other people. Like, I don't know. For one of you, some of you, or none of you, we have this Two of Cups at the bottom, even in it says reconciliation. Remember I said extend an olive branch. So, someone that could be, family, or this could be something to do with work where, someone wants to reconcile. Like maybe you told someone about something that you were doing or working on or that you wanted, and, like they didn't take you serious, or they didn't believe you. If you're kind of flighty, they're used to you like having these grand schemes and grand ideas. And so, for some reason, they just didn't take you serious. But you continue to work on something in spite of receiving assistance, or receiving encouragement, or, something like that. And someone could feel bad about that. And so now they're wanting to offer something to you. They want to help out now. And you might be feeling a little bit defensive because why didn't you trust me, believe me, help me, love me the first time? With that Seven of Wands, we have the Hanged Woman, says surrender. I feel like this is definitely something that just kind of be open. There's something that you do need to be open to. And again, this is just the general part of the reading, so it could be anything, you guys. What else? $60-60. That's so funny. So we had that reconciliation, right? And this is, you may have unfinished business or tasks to attend to. Reconnect with the divine, with family, with friends, that project that you're avoiding, or with your goals. So it's like someone wants to reconnect with you, or someone wants to help you so that you can finish something that was really important to you. Maybe you just don't trust them because, someone wasn't there for you before, or just like maybe it's not about that person. You weren't successful with something before. And so, you could just be afraid to try again. I mean, I don't know, but, what I'm getting is just like, you have some unfinished business. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and dive into love, Pisces. The next 30 days, or for the month of November, a potential blind spot as it relates to love. Jeez. So we have the card 59. Projection. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ask, who's projecting? Who is projecting? Is this Pisces or the person that they're dealing with? That is okay. I'm getting that this could potentially be, definitely, this is Pisces. This is you at risk of projecting your thoughts, feelings, or beliefs on your partner, someone that you're in some relationship with, or that you're, dating, or I don't know, family, friend, lover. I don't know. But that goes back to pushing them away, right? With that general reading, being mindful that you're not pushing people away. This reminds me of you were raised one way, right? And you have certain lived experiences, and your lived experiences, they're your lived experiences, and they're right and they're true for you, and that shaped how you feel and how you think and how you behave. But those were your experiences, and we don't all have the same lives. We don't live the same lives. We don't have the same experiences, right? So for example, I can say like me personally growing up, like in my household, there wasn't like a lot of, hugging and kissing and, whatever that is, with parent and child. And that was my lived experience. So when people are like, and I'm a Cancer, right? So, we're supposed to be extra lovey dovey, feely, whatever. But when, people are too lovey dovey, touchy feely for me, it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you, what they say, is you cool? Like, what is going on here? Like, it makes me uncomfortable. And it even reminds me of like, when I became a mother, that wasn't something that I was used to, but the kids that I was gifted, like I didn't have a choice but to change. And that also meant that my kids lived experience of, having a parent that hugs and kisses and loves on and, encourages and, like that is their lived experience, right? But it wasn't mine. Okay. So I can't go around and say that, well, families are not very loving. Like that was my lived experience, but that's not my kids' lived experience. So just there's something to do with like, keep in mind that the way that your life happened is not going to necessarily, like that shapes who you are and how you think and how you feel, but don't put that on other people. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull some tarot to see what else we get from that. Didn't mean to lecture you, but yeah, we have the King of Cups, emotional. I might have got a little too, I don't know, but we have the King of Cups. This is about emotional stability. At the bottom is the Two of Wands, which is about vision. It might be hard for someone to envision, like truly being loved on, doted on. It might be hard for someone to truly see like what a successful partnership or relationship is supposed to look like if what was reflected to you or what was shown to you or demonstrated to you was not necessarily the healthiest example, or really like what works for one household or relationship, it doesn't mean that it works for all of them. So just kind of be mindful of that. This reminds me of like someone being like, well, my mom and dad blah 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 blah. Well, that was your mom and dad, and you have to decide if that's what you want your relationship to look like, and if it does, is that what your partner wants? It's not just about you. Like there has to be a mutual agreement when it comes to that. Yeah, look at that. We have the Lovers. This is definitely, about love, some type of emotional stability. Okay, this is also making me think of like when it comes to love and relationships. So just be mindful that you're not trying to, because it really feels like just not communicating, right? Like someone may not be communicating their thoughts or feelings or beliefs when it comes to love and relationships or something like that. It's almost like where you expect other people to just know, or you expect people to be on the same page as you, or you expect people to think how you think or feel how you feel, but you and your partner are not actually speaking. Or the person that you're dating, like maybe you're dating someone and you guys are not really, like you're having shallow surface level, kind of conversations. I don't know. There's a Six of Cups at the bottom, which is about nostalgia. Make sure you're not trying to project based off of an old relationship that you had in your past, or like I said, what your parents had, or something like that. But we have the Queen of Pentacles, and this is about security. So we have emotional stability, and then we have security. Knight of Pentacles, methodical, At the bottom, at the top, Three of Pentacles, collaboration. Yeah, be mindful that, I don't know if like, if you're the type of person, it's like, you know, you're a list person, checklist person. If A, then B. If, you know, I don't know, there's something to do with that. Like there's something that you could do or rely on to make you feel secure and emotionally stable. And but it's based off of you and it's based off of your experiences. But the goal when it comes to like love and relationships is to collaborate, right? And not everything is going to be so black and white and so cut and dry. And again, if you're not communicating with your partner, then you can't just leave it up to, well, they ought to know, or, you know, I don't know. Let's get another one. Yeah, we have King of Wands, which is authority. This is something to do with wanting to be in control. And I'm not laughing at you, but like this is about, you know, someone feeling like they're the authority on love, or they're the authority on relationships. But not every relationship is the same. Yeah. There has to be, we have Temperance, so this is about balance. There's something to do with informed consent. I'm hearing that phrase, informed consent. And then we have the Hermit, which is about introspection. Yeah, at the bottom is the Fool, embracing the unknown. And Eight of Wands, communication. I'm telling you, like, someone needs to know to actually communicate the rules or the expectations or whatever when it comes to love and relationships. But there has to be an informed consent. There has to be agreement. There has to be collaboration. And, you know, it's not like, don't be, it can't be, it's my way or the highway. Like, that's not how I'm hearing, that's the way love goes. Like, if you were raised in a household, okay, where, I don't know, mom and dad, like basically mom ran the coop, right? She ran the household. And what mom wanted, what mom said, like that's just, nobody questioned anything. Nobody went against what your mom wanted or what your mom said or what your mom did, whether they agreed with it or didn't agree with it. And that's what you're used to. That is what was demonstrated to you. That's how you were raised. And then you're in a relationship and you're like, well, you know, if this person loves me, then they're going to do everything that I say. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Same thing. If you were raised where dad, you know, was the boss or was the head, and, you know, really, you know, in those situations, it's not necessarily about love. It's about their fear. Like, you know, if that was, if someone lived in like a household that seemed like it was a dictatorship, that, you know, mom was in charge, dad was in charge. No, there's supposed to be a collaboration. And even when kids are introduced, you know I think and I feel and I, you know, I'm a little bit different, I guess, than what other people are used to. But, you know, even children, they're people too, right? So they should have a say so or be able to speak up. It doesn't mean that what they say goes, or that you're going to change everything because your child feels one way, or because mom feels one way, or because dad. No, it just means that you guys communicate and you guys have conversations and you guys come to an agreement. Look at that at the bottom. We have the Knight of Swords, direct communication. Someone is not, I don't know if someone is like more used to like skirting around issues or something to that effect. I don't know. Yeah. Ooh. All of these, huh? Okay, we're going to look at them. We have 717. Start a new course or research information that will help you enhance your knowledge base that aligns with your goals and pursuits. I feel like someone might need to, I'm seeing books. So there could be something to do with like books on communication, books on healthy relationships, something to do with that. Okay. We have 1414, let go of those negative thoughts. Use positive affirmations to attract what you truly want or desire. This is like me feeling like someone is saying like, well, because these people don't do what I say, when I say what I say, when I say what I say, what I say, they don't love me. No, you're going to have to release that thought, or, this is something that you were taught. This is something that you learned. And I feel like someone needs to look into some type of positive affirmations as it relates to, loving partnerships or relationships, or, whatever you're looking for, right? Not affirmations about how people are going to bend to your will, but, about positive communication, or about being understood, or, I don't know, about whatever you need. Okay. Possibly about you feeling safe to love, or, something. I don't know. And then we have 6666, which says, I'll show you that one. I think I showed the other one too. It says excessive worry and anxiety could be blocking your abundance and manifestations. Focus on spirit and being of service at this time. So for some of you guys, yeah, this could be about thinking that, I don't know. I just keep getting the sense of like someone is feeling like people ought to just do what they say. I don't know. Maybe they should, but still give them an opportunity to express themselves before you guys make a final determination together. Okay. So we're moving on to money. So we're going to look at what your potential blind spots are when it comes to money for the next 30 days or for the month of November. Oh, geez. And we have 57 that came out. So 57. Blinding optimism. So when it comes to your money, there's something to do with blinding optimism. Oh, okay. Sorry. Blinding optimism, it says it means that your optimism is blinding you to actual reality. And again, we're focused on money for the sign of Pisces. It says optimism is associated with many positive things such as increased success, better physical, emotional, and mental health, increased life expectancy, and better recovery from adversity. Having a positive outlook is a positive thing. It is a positive thing until you're using it to deny the negative. This makes positivity nothing more than illusory denial. It may benefit you to also spend some time accepting the energy of, number 10. Let me see what 10 is. I didn't want to, but denial. When our motives for being optimistic take us away from awareness, our positive distortions in personal attributes, capabilities, and estimation of the future can and usually do lead to negative outcomes. I keep hearing something about saving, okay? So, and this is about your money. So I don't know if someone is spending money, but because it's like, no, everything's going to work out. No, everything is, I don't know. I'm hearing state of emergency, like maybe someone is in denial that things are changing or that there's a potential for like a rainy day. So this is like, you know, you being guided to someone telling you that you need to have like a rainy day fun. And it's like, I'll never have a rainy day. Or, I mean, I don't know. There are no, there are no rainy days, right? Let's see what the tarot has to say with this, about this for your blinding optimism when it comes to, okay, wait. For someone, like if you're in a relationship or like you share finances with someone, I feel like you could be dealing with a partner that does, like they're allergic to saving or something like that. If it's just you or your finances are separated, then this is you, okay? And there's something to do with like if you have a partner, like you have to be open to communicating. I'm not keeping this, but what came out is the Two of Wands, which is about vision. This just makes me feel like there's something to do with like you needing to sit down and actually plan something out, or like maybe you're spending without having an actual, like you're buying certain things. Like let's say you're starting a business, or I don't know, something for your retirement. And so you're investing in certain things, but you haven't actually sat down to write out or create like your long-term goals or plans or something like that. Okay. So it's like you're either spending all willy-nilly or like, you know, I don't know. Let's see. Okay. We have two that came out. We just saw these. We have the Nine of Swords, which is about guilt. We just saw these. And then we have, they weren't even together. And then we have the Chariot, which is triumph over obstacles. Okay, so I'm going to say this for one of you, some of you, or none of you. I don't know, but it's like, this is like, someone is overspending, or like you're refusing to save money or something like that, because you feel like, this was in the Cancer energy, but you feel guilty for having, like other people could be struggling, but maybe you're not. And it's almost like, this is weird, but this is like keeping up with the Joneses in reverse, right? So you already prepared in advance, but other people didn't, that you know, or that you deal with. So you're overspending, or like you're doing something, like someone is doing something, and to look like, you know, yeah, I'm struggling too, but you're not. Like, I don't know, this is weird. Yeah, we have Ace of Swords, which is about cutting through the confusion. At the top is Four of Cups, which is self-absorption. And then at the bottom is Five of Swords, which is hollow win. Just be mindful for this month or the next 30 days or whatever, like there just really is, on the surface, it looks like you have more than what you actually have, or, I mean, I don't know. I'm confused. Eight of Cups, self-discovery. These same cards keep coming out. And then Six of Wands, nostalgia. It's almost like someone is spending or saving or something based off of like what they used to have, a job that they used to have, money that they used to have, something like that. A dynamic that you used to have, but you don't have that anymore. Someone doesn't have that anymore. And they don't want to like look deeper or look closer at what is the actual reality for them. Yeah, someone is just, sorry. We have the Two of Pentacles, which is flow at the bottom, and at the top, we have the Lovers, which is love. Again, I'm going to say this again. This could have something to do with love or a relationship or partnership or something like that. And you see like someone's just allowing another person to like go through the finances unchecked because someone within the dynamic is not looking at the current timeline, the current reality. I don't know whether this is you or this is the person that you're dealing with. I don't know. Let's see. We have 22. Yeah, I feel like this is, for some of you guys, definitely this is another person that like you're dealing with. But 22, it says, pursue your dreams and focus your energies on areas other than work to achieve a sense of balance. So that's what we have for your money. I don't know if some of you guys, you're trying to have like other streams of income or something like that, but maybe you're so focused on work that you're like not putting into researching or starting those other streams. And so, you know, now is the time, okay? Especially now, you know, we see that all jobs are not, you know, guaranteed. So, okay. So we're moving on to the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising, North Node. Really, if you have Scorpio anywhere in your chart, the messages may in fact resonate. Okay, and we're going to start off with the general. So this will be what you're not seeing or your potential blind spots for the month of November or for the next 30 days. Okay, so starting off with just in general, what does Scorpio need to look out for? We have card 58. Okay, so we just finished with Pisces with their blinding optimism. So in general, for Scorpio, you need to be mindful of blinding pessimism, okay? So always looking at the negative, always making the assumption that something is not going to work out in your favor, or what can go wrong will go wrong, right? So that's what this is. So definitely kind of check your mental, what you're saying about, you know, whatever this is that you're focused on for this month, whether it's your money, love, relationships, just life in general. Some of you guys may definitely, whatever mentally, like your focus, your, geez, I can't even get it out. Whatever you're being pessimistic about, you may want to counteract that with some type of positive affirmations or mantras or something like that. But it says, in this situation, your pessimism is blinding you to actual reality. There's a reason that we are pessimistic. We're not born pessimistic. It is a strategy we learn to adopt so as to minimize pain. It is a defense mechanism. This means if we're pessimistic in general, we have been deeply and repetitively hurt in our lives, and it is a guarantee that hurt came with crushing disappointment. It means that if you're pessimistic in this situation or in these situations or whatever this is, you're doing so to minimize pain, especially the potential of disappointment. Okay. So this is, you know, this is a coping mechanism, but let me see. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. It says, here's the thing. Pessimism affects the way we act or the way we refuse to act. Optimists, as long as they're not using optimism as an active form of denial, tend to pursue their goals persistently, leading them to build effective strategies and resources that enable them to achieve success. Optimists have a higher investment in their goals and much more perseverance with regards to attaining those goals. And I'm getting something strong with persevering. So I don't know if, like in general, I'm hearing the word hiatus, but in general, I don't know, Scorpio, if you've been using like this strategy or this coping mechanism of pessimism as a way or an excuse for you to quit something that you're trying to build, that you're trying to grow, that you're trying to do. Yeah. But anyways, perseverance with regards to attaining those goals. In other words, optimists are happy and healthy and successful, not because of who they are, but because of the way they see things. But because the way they see things causes them to act in ways that guarantee happiness, health, and success. Pessimism is the opposite. Because of this, pessimism is associated with greater anxious and depressive symptoms, resignation, underachievement, and poor physical health. Okay. I don't know. I'm hearing something about, someone worrying themselves into an early, grave. So just kind of be mindful, mindful of your thoughts, or, watch your words or something to that effect. But let's see what we get with the tarot. I don't know if someone's been feeling like unlucky for the past, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, someone's feeling unlucky. And so someone's using pessimism as a way to just kind of detach from certain things. But yeah, so the first card is the Ace of Swords. It says cutting through confusion. Dedication. Eight of Pentacles is dedication. Justice is fairness. I feel it's almost like if you're trying to manifest something in general, I don't know what it is, but if you're trying to manifest something, it's almost like, you speak positively, like maybe you've written down positively what you want or something like that. But then every day you're thinking of excuses as to why it's not going to work, or you're thinking negatively about what it is that you're trying to manifest. And it's causing some type of confusion, right? Something to do with like the law of attraction. It's just, there's some type of confusion there. Jeez. This is Judgment, and it flipped in reverse. Refusal to self-examine. I don't know. This is almost like, constantly saying something is not going to work out based off of, I don't know, some experience that you had, but, maybe there was one thing that you could have done different, or you should have done different, or something that you can change this go round, but you're not looking at it because, like, I don't know, maybe it's too painful to think about that situation, or to dig deep into like what didn't work, whether this is a relationship or whether this is, something to do with work, or, I don't know what this is, but someone is not looking deeper at like the part that they played or what they could have done different. This could have something to do with finances. We have Five of Pentacles, which is financial hardship. And at the top is Nine of Wands, persistence. So it could have something to do with like, something that you're trying to create or build. Yeah, financially speaking. This tried to flip in reverse. This is Ace of Wands. See, in reverse, the Ace of Wands is false start. And upright, it is about a spark of inspiration. And I really feel like this could be that maybe this stems from you had a really good idea, or you were inspired to do something, pursue something, I don't know, follow through with something, start something, but you had a false start, right? So it's not to say that you were not meant to be successful, or you shouldn't, or you're never going to be successful at this. it feels like maybe you lost some of your hope as it relates to this because things just didn't work out the way that you had planned or the way that you thought that they would. But it was just a false start. Like maybe there were some things that you needed to learn, along the way. And so if you actually go back and dig through your notes or, mental notes or whatever, you would see like, oh, wait, maybe it was something small or, a couple of things like here and there that needed to be changed or tweaked or, approached in a different manner. Okay. Yeah, we have the King of Swords here, which is about intellect. It could be something just, as simple as like, maybe there was a part of a plan that like you really just didn't know, about, like maybe you needed to study up on or brush up on something. Like let's say that you're a creative, you paint, right? And you were wanting to sell your canvases or you were wanting to put things on, I don't know, shirts and whatever. And so yeah, you have the art down pat, right? You know how to do that. You know your art. Like you're very good at what you do, but you don't know business. Okay. And this is like you rush in and you're thinking that your art is just going to speak for itself. But no, you're going to have to learn to actually speak for your art as well, in order for other people to see the vision or, something like that. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. You have number 2. It says, continue to work hard to obtain the success you desire and be cooperative. I feel like, whatever this is, whatever this was, like the guidance in general is for you to just not give up. Like you need to continue to work on it, but you are going to have to self-reflect. You're going to have to look back on something to see what needs to be tweaked, what needs to be changed, to help improve your situation or help you accomplish your goal or accomplish your goal, quicker. I mean, I don't know. But that was just in general. So now we're going to go ahead and dig into love for the sign of Scorpio. Just a minute. Okay, so we're looking at the potential blind spot or what you're not seeing for the month of November or just the next 30 days as it relates to love and relationships. So what you need to be mindful of. Oh, geez. These cards come out so fast. We have 71 here. Depletion. I'm hearing overextending. I don't know if you have to be mindful of like overextending yourself within a relationship. Be mindful of that. Okay. It says you can't do what is necessary because you have no energy and therefore no forward movement can occur until you replenish yourself in some way. People tend to draw this when they are suppressing their exhaustion to the degree that they can't see or admit to the fact that they are depleted. Alternatively, they may see that they are depleted but are telling themselves that it doesn't matter and that they have to carry on doing the same thing anyway. At this time, you need to focus on replenishment. This could be anything that works for you. It could mean doing nothing at all, or perhaps rest, vacation, sleep, relaxation, meditation, reading books, doing a hobby that fills you with excitement, watching movies, getting someone to help take stress off of you by taking responsibility for certain things off your shoulders, massages, getting energy work, acupuncture, bubble bath, certain food, yoga, going to places that replenish you, or just being around people who replenish you. The list goes on and on. This is about like struggling to receive. And we're talking about love and relationships. So, it's like, I don't know if you're a natural leader, or like, when it comes to love and relationships, you always like take the reins, or you take the lead in a relationship. And so you're always the one that is doing. Hmm. It could be like, this kind of reminds me of like, be mindful that you're not like in that energy where you're not allowing people to assist you or to help you, or you're not allowing people to show you like what they're capable of, when it comes to like meeting you halfway, or just taking over, in some instances with certain things in the relationship. Like you're not allowing them to, and then you're completely worn out, tired, stressed out, and get kind of cranky, at other people for not helping you with anything and everything, or with certain things, but you're not allowing them to. I don't know if this would be like grow learning, right? That if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. But see, with that mentality, you're gonna always do it yourself. Hmm. And you can't fault other people if that's your mindset, or if that's your mentality. You can't fault other people. Let's see what the tarot. Let's see. This is reminding me of like, like let's say you're in a relationship and you live with someone, and I don't know, you work 40 hours, they work 40 hours, you come home, and um, you cook, your partner tries to clean up. I don't know, they try to wash the dishes, but you don't like how they wash the dishes. So what do? You jump up and you're like, I'll do it, or you redo it when they do it, or I don't know, you just take over when they're trying to help you with something. And after a while, if you look at it from the other person's perspective, like that doesn't feel good, because it's like you implying that they're no good at like what they're doing, or that you don't appreciate what they're doing. And eventually they stop offering assistance. And you don't remember the fact that every time someone tried to jump in and help you with something, you took over the reins. But what you do know now is that nobody's helping you now, and that you're tired. I don't know if someone has an issue with like perfectionism, possibly. All right, let's see what we get with the tarot. We have the Six of Wands, which is recognition. I feel like people do see like all of the hard work that you do, or people do see and appreciate everything it is that you do within a relationship, and they would like to assist, they would like to help in certain ways, but you're going to have to be open to allowing them to do so. I mean, I don't know if like, even if you're not like in a serious relationship or whatever, like this could be like you're always planning all the dates, and you don't allow the other person to, give ideas or give input into, like the dates. Like maybe you don't feel like they're capable. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But but you are appreciated. If you feel like, I don't know if someone feels like they're not appreciated when it comes to love and relationships, friendships, partnerships, a marriage, family ship. I don't know. You may feel like you're not appreciated, but people do recognize the hard work, and how just how good you are at what you do when you do what you do, right? They see that, they recognize that, and they appreciate that, and they would like to, you know, I don't know, they would like to help out. but are you willing to let go of the reins? Are you, we have the Hanged Woman, which is about surrender. Are you willing to allow to give other people the opportunity to show you that, they're capable just like you are? Someone recognizes that, was that with the that was this one is something about, working yourself in, like someone is overextending themselves, like you're working yourself into an early grave. I mean, that's what I said earlier. Someone sees that and they want you to be around, for the long haul or in the long run or something like that. But I don't know if you're the type of person that like you get easily stressed, or you get easily, you get have like panic attacks or get into anxiety, you have anxiety or something like that. But it really has something to do with like a fear. Someone has a fear of failure. Someone just wants to help out. Look at that. At the top is the Fool, embracing the unknown. You have to be willing to just let go, to allow other people to take over. I don't know. What else? We have the King of Cups, which is emotional stability. I talked about like someone becoming anxious or stressed out or something like that. We have the Hierophant at the bottom. This is spiritual wisdom. Someone knows, like, someone sees that like you're not going to be able to continue along that path for too long, of like overextending yourself, or overworking, or just doing, I don't know, someone is doing too much within their relationships. I feel like someone is just like an overachiever. We have the World, which is accomplishment. I don't know. Jeez. Yeah. I'm sorry, but like we have the Ten of Swords, which talks about a painful ending. And I'm telling you, someone is working themselves, like someone needs to be really careful. Someone is trying to do everything for everyone within their relationships, or for someone this is a marriage. Like you're trying to do way too much, and this is what happens when you take on everything on your own. Your body cannot keep up with that. Someone is going to have to be, here's that Fool again, embracing the unknown. You're going to have to be okay with not knowing the end result of something. And you know this. We have the Moon. This is about the subconscious. Like, something is telling you that you need to slow down, or that you need to allow other people to assist you. I don't know. Let's see what else. I don't know. I feel like whoever you're dealing with, or, whether this is family, a lover, a spouse, whatever, I feel like, there are certain people that they will watch you work yourself into, exhaustion. And they're okay with that as long as you're taking care of them, you're taking care of their needs. But the person that you have on your team is not like that. I said that earlier, like they see you guys being in it for the long haul, right? Oh no, I just see someone with like, hair falling out, bags starting to form, just constantly tired, and still continuing to push themselves to do everything. And there are some things that you could allow other people to step in and assist you with. But we have 505. It says good things are coming, but changes are necessary. Face any fears that may arise and use your time wisely. You don't have time to do it all. You cannot. You don't have the time and you don't have the energy to do it all. There's something, again, you're going to have to be open to surrendering certain things. So maybe you can just like create a list of all the things that you do, or all the things that you feel like need to be done with you. Maybe there are some things that if you look in your budget, you can pay a professional if you feel like it needs to be done a certain way. Or certain things like, maybe start off small. What are some things that, like, if it's not done exactly perfectly how you would do it, but you would still be okay with it, and you're not going to go behind somebody and make them feel bad by redoing what they've done. Like, pick some items and, delegate those off to another person. Okay. But this is like what you're doing all the time, that you're taking away time from a loving relationship. You're taking time away from your partner. You're taking time away from your kids. You're taking time away from, your family or your friends or people that love you, because you're trying to do it all. And that is going to have a negative impact on your relationships. So just be mindful of that. So let's go ahead and look at money. So we're going to see for the sign of Scorpio, what you are not seeing. What are your potential blind spots for the month of November, or just the next 30 days when it comes to your money? Oh, geez. These cards don't even care about a good shuffle. They don't care if I get a good shuffle. We have card number 5. They don't care. Yeah, we have bulldozing. Okay, so number 5 is bulldozing. Bulldozing is, let's see. No, I'm not going to read all of that. Hold on, you guys. This is about splitting, fragmenting. Okay, I'll just start here. They're talking about approving parts of ourselves and rejecting others. It says no matter how we spin it, we are polarized. You have experienced polarization anytime that you come to a place where you have to make a decision and part of you says yes, while another part of you says no. When we are faced with this situation, we usually begin to play a zero-sum game internally. We make a decision so that the part of us that says yes has won and the part of us that says no loses. It is as if the part of us that is saying no to something is standing in front of a bulldozer being driven by our other part. And instead of creating resolution so that both parts feel in alignment with the choice being made, the one driving the bulldozer simply runs right over the one protesting. This creates an internal atmosphere of distrust. It is an antagonistic internal atmosphere. So it's saying we tend to bulldoze. What we tend to bulldoze the most is what we fear, basically. We cannot bulldoze our fear without creating more fear. Instead, we need to take loving care of our fear. In this situation, you must consider that the part of you that is being bulldozed exists and is currently holding. Okay, it sounds like you're forcing yourself. You're forcing yourself to do something when it comes to your money. Something that you may not necessarily agree with completely. And rather than just sitting there and saying, you know what, like, this is what I don't completely agree with this plan, right? But at the, going through, pluses, the positives and the negatives of, each scenario, I've come to the conclusion that this is going to be in my best interest. It's like, instead you um, bully yourself into saying, well, the other plans were stupid, or, I don't know. It's just something like that. Like, you're trying to force yourself to believe something or to do something that you don't really completely agree with. Or you're trying to force yourself to think, positive about a situation, but, and you're not allowing yourself to, just like mourn like, let's say, I don't know, you've decided to change your career, right? Since we're talking about money, you decided to change your career. Maybe you're going to lose some money, or I don't know, even gain some money. It doesn't matter. But either way, like, maybe what you've done, what you're leaving, you've been doing it for 20 years. I don't know. And rather than like mourning the loss of, the plan that you had before, like you're trying to force yourself, like by saying, well, it was a dumb job, or it was a dumb, I don't know. Let's just grab some tarot to see what else we can get out of that, because that's just really, it's almost like bullying yourself. It's really weird. But this has something to do with your money. Yeah. We have the Princess of Swords, which is about observation. We have Judgment, which says reflection. And then we have Six of Pentacles, which is about sharing wealth. Okay. This could be about just be mindful in the next, 30 days or for the month of November, that you are not forcing yourself to give your money to other people, because, I don't know, maybe you feel like it's just the Christian thing to do. It's the good thing to do. It's the best thing to do. But like, I don't know. It's like you're jumping in to save someone because of like their financial, like they were financially irresponsible. I don't know if you have a habit of doing that, like jumping in to save people that are financially irresponsible, and you just share the wealth because you have it. But for some reason, it's like, I don't know. There just needs to be there's some type of hesitation. Something, look at that at the bottom, is Princess of Cups. It says intuitive messages. I don't know if something is like guiding you or telling you that like you need your money for something, or like you need to hold on to your finances for something, or like, whether you're going to need it or whether someone is misusing, misappropriating your funds, right? And it's, like something that you worked hard for, like you're giving someone money, but they're not, like, maybe they give you these sad stories, and, just watch them. Like, you're going to see that they're using it for, I don't know, like, it's almost like, they have some habits that, like gambling, or like they have some weird, sorry, I don't mean to call them weird, but they have like habits, like, smoking, drinking, gambling. Like they have these habits and they're using your money for that, but you don't know, like you're going to have to, like, you need to observe them, because like they're telling you something else. And like your money is starting to dwindle, or it will soon dwindle at the rate that you're going. I don't know, but like maybe you feel guilty if you don't give them money. I don't know. Look at this, the towel cake. And this is how it's like, I can't, this is, I don't know, some type of chaos. But the other thing is like, you intuitively, you could know that like, you may need this money later on because there's some tower that you're prepared for. Something is coming, but you're prepared for it as long as you don't waste your finances, like by giving it away or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, look at, I'm just like this whole thing. I just feel so confused. But this is the Ace of Swords. This is about cutting through confusion. We have the Hanged Woman, which is surrender. It's almost like going between surrendering to your intuition, which is telling you that you need to hold on to your money, or surrendering to like some type of pressure from family or friends, or something like that, where someone is asking for money, or I don't know, someone is playing on like your compassionate nature and the fact that they know that you invest your finances. You've invested well. And so, it's like they use some type of, guilt. They guilt you into giving to them. But I feel like you need to cut this person off. Like you need to tell them like, look, you're going to just have to do better with your finances, or, I need my finances for something, or, something like that. You need to put that to an end if you're giving away all your money to this person, because they're using you for your stable nature, your stability, or you're going to need your own, like the money that you've saved up, or the bank account that you built up, or, it doesn't need, it could be just resources, the resources that you built up, like, and your intuition told you to build this, to have this nest egg, or to have this savings of something. And, it's like you're snubbing your nose at your own intuition by giving it away as quickly as you're saving it, or as quickly as you're bringing it in. But it's like you're bullying yourself, like, well, what would Jesus do? I don't know. Like, this is the right thing to do. I'd be a terrible person if I don't, I don't know. But your higher self told you to save this for a reason. I don't know. But yeah, the battery, we're down to 10%. So good thing we're almost at an end anyway. But it's like someone is depleting their funds or something like that. It could have something to do with a relation, with a love, you had depletion. So yeah, I don't know. We have the Knight of Cups, which is about pursuit. I feel like there's something else that you're meant to do or pursue. Two of Pentacles. And then the Nine of Pentacles, like you're building something up for yourself, so that you're comfortable for, for your future. So just be mindful of that in the next 30 days, that you're not blowing it by, letting someone else, like you're being too giving. You're being too kind and too giving when, when it comes to that. So yeah. But that's what I have for you guys. I hope that these messages were helpful. This was a lot longer than I thought, but this is water signs, what you're not seeing, your blind spots, potential blind spots for the month of November, or the next 30 days of you watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed the messages. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, all of that good, juicy stuff. I love you, and have a beautiful and fantabulous rest of your day. Bye now. Mwah.